Where do we belong now?
There's no question of where we belong.
Time does not wait for anyone. Yet for Claire and Jamie Fraser, love has always found a way to rise above centuries, wars, and destiny itself. But now, as the world around them begins to crumble, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Every great love story must face its final breath. And in the quiet shadows of the coming storm, the Frasers stand on the edge of the most emotional chapter of their lives. A chapter that will test everything they have left. The final season of Outlander begins not with peace, but with a heavy stillness, like the world itself is holding its breath. Claire and Jamie return to the ridge carrying memories of long journeys, battles survived, and choices that changed history. Their hearts are tired, yet still tied together with the same unbreakable thread that started their story so many years ago. But the ridge they return to is not the one they left behind. The trees feel older, the winds colder, and every shadow seems to whisper of coming danger. There is a quiet understanding between them the moment they set foot on their land. Something has shifted. The ridge is no longer just a home, it is a place standing on uncertain ground, caught between loyalty and war. New faces move through the fields, claiming their piece of the land. Old friends look at the Frasers with worried eyes. Rumors of battles, broken alliances, and shifting loyalties hang in the air like thick smoke from distant fires. Jamie feels the weight of it first. The mountains he once knew by heart seem unfamiliar, as if time has carved new scars into the land. Claire senses it too. Her hands, steady in every storm, tremble when she touches the earth beneath her feet. Something is wrong. Something is coming. And this time, the danger does not come from a battlefield miles away. It comes from home. Yet, even in this uncertainty, the bond between Claire and Jamie shines like a flame refusing to fade. When they stand side by side on the ridge, looking at the world they built, there is a deep silence between them, but it is not a silence of fear. It is the silence that comes before a hard truth. A truth they both know but do not dare to speak aloud. Their final fight may not be against enemies, but against time itself. The Revolutionary War is spreading like a fire across the colonies, touching everything it passes. The ridge is caught in its path, and the people Jamie swore to protect now look to him with fear and hope mixed in their eyes. Claire watches him carry this burden, knowing that every choice he makes could tear their world apart. She has stood by him through battles both seen and unseen, but this war feels different. This war does not follow the rules of the past. It twists the future, pulls at the threads of destiny, and threatens to break what they fought so hard to keep. Every night, the ridge grows quieter. Families whisper behind closed doors. Children sense the fear hidden in their parents' voices. And in the middle of it all, Claire and Jamie walk through their home with hearts heavy but determined. They know the ridge needs them now more than ever. They know the world is changing. But what they do not yet know is how deeply this final chapter will challenge their love, their courage, and their very place in history. As the wind moves through the trees and the sky darkens with the promise of war, Claire and Jamie stand together, holding onto a love that has survived the impossible. But the final breath of their story is just beginning, and the choices they make now will echo across time. The war does not arrive with loud drums or bright banners. It arrives quietly, slipping into the ridge like a cold wind that never leaves. At first, it is only whispers, news carried by travelers passing through, soldiers asking for shelter, strangers knocking on doors when the sun has barely risen. But soon, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. The world around Claire and Jamie is changing faster than anyone can prepare for. Every day, the ridge wakes to a new fear. Smoke rises from distant valleys where farms once stood untouched. Horses return to stables without riders. Families gather their belongings in the dark, hoping to leave before the war reaches their doorstep. Claire watches these changes with a heavy heart. She has seen war before, but this one feels different. This war does not simply take land, it takes trust, hope, and the safety people once believed in. Jamie carries the burden silently. He listens to every rumor, studies every map, every message sent from neighboring towns. He knows the shadow of the British Army is stretching closer, and he knows the Patriots are growing desperate. No matter which side wins, the ridge will feel the impact. Jamie's loyalty is torn in ways he never expected. His past with the British haunts him, while his future with Claire pulls him toward the Patriots' cause. It is a battle within himself, one no sword can solve. Claire sees how the weight crushes him. She watches the way his shoulders tense when a messenger rides in, the way his eyes stay open long after darkness falls. She wants to tell him it will be all right. She wants to believe it herself. But she knows the truth war changes people. It bends them, breaks them, reshapes them into someone they never planned to become. The ridge itself feels different. The nights grow longer, filled with the sound of distant gunfire. The forests that once glowed with calm moonlight now hide dangers in every shadow. People who once shared meals and laughter now watch each other with suspicion. Some fear the British, others fear the Patriots. All fear the cost of choosing the wrong side. Claire does what she can. She treats wounds from skirmishes miles away. She gathers herbs, prepares medicines, and teaches others how to care for the injured. But even she cannot save everyone. The war takes without mercy. Young boys return with shaking hands. Older men carry scars they didn't have the day before. Claire washes blood from her hands each night, praying she never has to wash Jamie's. Jamie, meanwhile, becomes the unspoken leader of the ridge. People trust him, even when they do not agree with him. They see the strength in his voice, the certainty in his decisions. But inside, Jamie is not certain of anything, not the future, not the war, not even the safety of the people he has sworn to protect. His greatest fear is not losing the ridge. It is losing Claire, losing the life they fought for, losing the family that means more to him than any victory or defeat. Together, they stand on a battlefield that stretches far beyond what the eye can see. It is not just a war of armies, it is a war of hearts, of choices, of survival. Each day brings them closer to a moment they cannot avoid. A moment when they must decide whether to fight, flee, or risk everything to save the people they love. The war grows louder. The fire spreads wider. And as the world around them begins to collapse, Claire and Jamie hold on to each other like the last steady truth in a world full of uncertainty. They do not know what tomorrow will bring, but they know one thing. They will face it together, even if the price is more than they are ready to pay. As war tightens its grip on the colonies, the Fraser family finds itself pulled apart in ways they never expected. Time, once a strange doorway that saved them, now becomes a threat that separates them. Brianna and Roger, trapped between centuries, feel the pain of distance grow heavier with each passing day. Their children carry the unseen weight of a fate they did not choose. Torn between two worlds that refuse to meet in peace, Brianna wakes each morning with a single prayer: that her family will survive long enough to be whole again. She feels the pull of her own birth time, the hum of electricity, engines, and modern life calling her back. And yet, she cannot leave. Not while her parents face a war that grows closer each day. Her heart sits split across centuries. Part of her belongs to Jamie and Claire. Part of her belongs to a future she might never see again. Roger struggles too. He shoulders the responsibility of protecting their children while carrying the fear of another time slip. He remembers the terror of losing Jamie across time, the heart-stopping panic of searching for him through history's shadows. Now, every sound in the woods, every echo at night reminds him of how fragile their world is. He wants to be strong for Brianna, but he cannot ignore the feeling that time itself is watching them. Waiting, young Ian, caught between loyalty and heartbreak, senses the coming storm before anyone else. He watches the ridge change, just as he watches the people he loves slip further from the future they imagined. The warrior inside him longs to fight, to protect what remains, but even he knows that some battles can't be won with arrows or steel. Some battles are fought within the heart. Meanwhile, Claire and Jamie feel the absence of their children like a shadow that follows them everywhere. There are days when Claire pauses at the sound of footsteps, hoping to see Brianna walking toward her with a smile. There are nights when Jamie tends the fire and imagines Roger sitting beside him, sharing a quiet word. But the ridge is quieter now. Too quiet. Silence has become a constant reminder of all the voices missing from their home. The family's memories become their only comfort. Claire holds on to the moments when she brushed Brianna's hair as a child, the soft laughter, the tiny hands tugging at her dress. Jamie remembers teaching his daughter to shoot an arrow, her pride when she struck the target for the first time. These memories feel like treasures, but also wounds, because memory cannot protect them from the war ahead. But the greatest fear, spoken only in whispers, is the fear that time may tear them apart forever. The stones call to some more strongly than others, and the war pushes everyone toward impossible choices. Brianna wonders if she must take her children through time again to keep them safe. Roger fears the past may not let them go so easily. And Claire worries that if her daughter returns to the future, the Ridge will never see her again. For Jamie, the fear is deeper. He knows time is something he cannot fight. He can battle soldiers, confront enemies, and face death on the field, but he cannot battle the centuries that lie between him and the children who carry his blood. He stands on the ridge each night, looking toward the horizon, praying silently that time will show them mercy just once. Yet, even as the family fractures, their love does not fade. It stretches across time, across war, across worlds. Claire and Jamie hold on to that hope that no matter how far their children travel, no matter what dangers come, their hearts will always find a way back home. But hope cannot stop the coming storm. War marches closer. Time grows restless, and the Fraser family stands at the edge of a moment that could break them forever or bring them together in ways they never imagined. The storm does not arrive all at once. It begins with small cracks, shadows moving where they shouldn't, footsteps in the woods long after nightfall, and faces that look familiar but hide fear behind forced smiles. The Ridge, once alive with laughter and harvests, becomes a place of secrets. Every whisper sounds like a warning. Every silence feels like a threat. Enemies do not always wear uniforms. Sometimes they wear the faces of neighbors. Jamie notices the change first. A door left open at night. A horse missing from the stables. A quiet tension during meetings with the settlers. He sees men who once trusted him now look away when he speaks. He sees fear turning into suspicion, and suspicion turning into resentment. War has a way of twisting even the kindest souls into something unrecognizable, but Claire sees a different danger, one that grows inside the hearts of the people. A mother refusing treatment for her child because she believes the Frasers brought misfortune. A man who once thanked Claire now accuses her of knowing too much, healing too quickly, understanding things no one else can. The same gifts that once saved lives now make her a target for fear. Rumors spread like wildfire. She knows magic. She attracts danger. She isn't one of us. He leads us into war. He knows the enemy. He owes loyalty to another flag. These whispers become a silent enemy, creeping through the Ridge faster than any army could. Still, the true danger hides deeper. A group of loyalist soldiers begins to move through the forests near the Ridge, raiding farms and leaving warnings carved into door frames. Jamie recognizes the pattern. It is the work of men who do not care who they harm as long as they gain control. And he knows that once they reach the Ridge, they will not show mercy, but the Patriots pose danger too. Desperate, reckless, unpredictable. They demand loyalty, supplies, fighters, things the Ridge cannot afford to give. Jamie tries to reason with them, tries to protect his people without taking sides. But war does not allow neutrality for long. In the middle of this rising tension, the breaking point comes quietly, like all tragedies do. One evening, the sun sinks behind the mountains, painting the sky red, a warning in itself. Claire attends to a wounded young man in the cabin near the edge of the Ridge. The boy is frightened, barely old enough to hold a rifle. His uniform marks him as a patriot, but Claire sees only a child. She works to save him, unaware that danger is already closing in. Jamie is away, meeting with settlers who have grown restless. Ian is tracking strange footprints near the river. Brianna and Roger are fighting their own battles across time. Claire is alone, and in this moment, the shadows finally step forward. A group of unknown men, faces covered, intentions hidden, surround the cabin. Claire hears the first sound, a boot stepping on dry leaves. Then another. Then the unmistakable click of a rifle being loaded. Her heart freezes, not for herself, but for the boy she's trying to save. They want the child. They want information. They want to send a message. Claire steps in front of the boy, refusing to move. She has stood in the face of fear before, and she will not back down now. But this time, she is not dealing with armies or officers. She is dealing with men fueled by rage, confusion, and the false courage of desperation. Voices rise. Threats echo. The cabin becomes a trap, and then the breaking moment arrives. A shot shatters the quiet. The candle flickers. The air fills with smoke and panic. Claire reaches for the boy, trying to shield him, but chaos swallows them both. The men force their way inside. The world becomes noise, shouting, crashing wood, desperate cries. Claire fights with everything she has. But the numbers overwhelm her. Outside, far across the ridge, Jamie hears the distant echo of gunfire. His heart stops. The world he built, the love he fought centuries for, the woman who changed his destiny, everything is suddenly thrown into danger. He runs, faster than he has ever run before. Through the trees, over the fields, toward the smoke rising in the twilight. He doesn't know what he will find. He only knows one thing. If anything happens to Claire, the world will lose its light. This is the moment when everything begins to break. When enemies reveal themselves. When the ridge fractures. When love is pushed to its limits. And when destiny demands its greatest sacrifice. Jamie reaches the cabin breathless, his heart pounding in his chest like a war drum. The world seems to blur around him as he pushes through the last line of trees, and for a moment, he fears the worst. Smoke rises against the dark sky, drifting like a warning. The cabin door hangs open, broken at the hinges. The silence that follows is thick, painful, almost alive. It presses against his lungs, making it hard to breathe. Inside, shadows stretch across the floor. The table is overturned. Medical tools are scattered like fallen soldiers. And in the middle of the chaos lies a single drop of blood, fresh, bright, terrifying. Jamie kneels beside it, touching the ground as if he could feel Claire through the wood itself. Every instinct in him roars in panic. This is the turning point. He knows it. The war is no longer outside. It has invaded his home, taken what is most precious, and left behind a ghost of fear. But Jamie Fraser is not a man who surrenders to fear. He rises, his eyes burning with a fierce determination that has carried him through every battle of his life. He searches the room with precision. A broken chair, a torn piece of cloth, a trail of disturbed footprints. Someone took Claire, but she fought. He can see signs of struggle, signs of courage, signs of a woman who refused to yield even when surrounded. That alone keeps his heart beating. Outside, the air is cold, and the night feels sharp enough to cut skin. Ian arrives moments later, breathless, face pale. He recognizes the danger instantly. Without a word, he joins Jamie in tracking the kidnappers through the dark forest. For the first time in years, the two warriors move with the silent unity of a pack, swift, focused, deadly. As they follow the trail, Claire's world becomes a blur of pain and confusion. Her wrists are tied, her vision blurred from the blow she took defending the wounded boy. But even through the aching fear, one thought shines solid and unbroken. Jamie will come. She knows the man she married. She knows the fire in his heart. She knows he would tear apart the world to bring her back. That belief becomes her strength as the captors drag her deeper into the woods, toward a hidden camp lit by the faint flicker of torches. The men argue in harsh whispers. Some want to use her as leverage. Others fear her because of her knowledge, medicine mistaken for magic. One of them speaks her name like a curse, blaming her for the chaos of war, for the rich choosing Jamie, for things beyond her control. Claire listens, silent, letting their words reveal their intentions. She is scared. Yes, but she is unbroken. Back on the trail, Jamie and Ian move like shadows. Every broken twig tells a story. Every footprint reveals a step. The moon guides them. Fear fuels them. Love directs them. Jamie's mind shifts into the sharp focus of battle. His thoughts are not clouded by panic anymore. They are sharpened by it. He remembers Claire's touch, her voice, her smile, each memory becoming a weapon that strengthens him, that pushes him forward. Hours pass. The forest grows thicker, the trail narrower, and then they see the glow of fire through the trees. Voices. Movements. A camp. Jamie freezes, gripping his sword. Ian places a hand on his shoulder, understanding the storm inside him. They watch, learn, wait. Soldiers guard the area. The men move with confidence, unaware a storm is about to strike. This is the moment everything shifts. Jamie steps forward, every muscle ready to break the night apart. But Ian stops him. We must think, he whispers. Not charge blindly. Jamie knows he's right. Rage alone won't save Claire. Strategy will. Inside the camp, Claire lifts her head. Her eyes catch a faint movement in the trees. A silhouette. A flash of red hair. A familiar stance. Jamie has found her. Hope floods her chest, fighting back the fear that has shadowed her since the attack. She steadies her breath, preparing herself. She has faith in Jamie, but she also knows he cannot do this alone. She must be ready for whatever comes next. In that moment, the world holds still. War pauses. Time waits. Destiny leans forward, because the turning point has arrived, not just for Claire and Jamie, but for the ridge, the war, and the future that hangs in balance. What happens next will shape everything that follows. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever be the same again.